saako maalo bi jeex na te diwlin bi jeex na dama am pour dem marché.
ah Pape dégg nga li ndaw si wax de léegi nag dimbali ma rek nga lebal ma benn bidon diwlin ak benn saako maalo soo ci mënee boole soble sax nga boole ko ci sama doom Lamine su yónnee xaalis bi rek ma fay la sa xaalis.
non boutique bi diwlin ma mënuma la koo lebal parce que doo ma dee fay on time loolu moo tax mënuma laa lebal.
daal yow sa doom bi fan la nekk
sama doom mu ngi Angleterre.
Angleterre daal xanaa yoo yëgloo ba lu service ku ko am fu waay mun a nekk si àdduna bi mën na laa yónnee ndugg si nu gaaw te amul benn jafe-jafe amul ne réew bi dafa po te xoolal soble diwlin maalo pompiteer ak li ñu mel sooy yegg baluwo.com di nga ko am gis nga ku bëgg a jëfandikoo baluwo service bi dugal sa Play Store nga type baluwo.com downloadal app bi nga jëfandikoo ko ci nu mu gën a gaawee.
Yo, ini bara. Okay. Welcome. Basically, lot of lala me along is cool, man. That I can really relax.
What the madam?
Yeah, that's
what the madam?
Yeah.
Let them do somebody.
That's right.
Grand Villa.
Grand Villa.
That's fine.
Slowly. Yes. No.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people are basically me alone because they relax. So it's basically that I can understand.
Nina Fani say what? Nidia, Nena Grand Villa is the best guest house in the Gambia.
Beji andikam Grand Villa Guest House. Na labungul bebe senyaring adum na bungul bebe nyarandiring coming ibela fila ila suwe taranyame. Until Grand Villa na kiliano la lafino wale mukamwati telkam. Na ye sabati Grand Villa yela kodo na fa kalamuta.
Oh man, this is like a paradise.
I know.
I so much love this place.
Yeah, thank you.
Trust me, I love this place.
You can move somebody and what you want.
Yeah.
Jang and you to Gambia. Grand Villa.
I tell you. I love this place. Okay.
Yes.
I love this place, man. Oh yeah.
Ni leftan na kuo keso sotola. Futama Oljuntum Paradise Estate. Mbaya kumandiroke 7527-218. Wale futan na website auto www.grandvillaguesthouse.com. Grand Villa Guest House.
Stewart & Co. Solicitors, a legal excellence firm in London that can help you with all aspects of your legal work. If you are looking at immigrating to the United Kingdom, Stewart & Co. can help you to set up business, buy houses in the UK, and will deal with all your legal works from start to finish.
For all your general immigration work, we can help you with that as well. If you're applying for any form of visa, whether student visas, settlement visas, marriage visas, or a child wanting to come to the United Kingdom to settle with the family, we can help you to achieve your goals.
Stewart & Co. Solicitors, a legal excellence firm specializing in conveyancing, immigration, litigation, family law, personal injury, licensing, no win, no fee. Contact us today at www.sk-solicitors.com.
la domoro ka diatel
boy jannon CK's restaurant
e sa nakko be ni na dimbal nimbe domoro kala janno
domoro seneyata adiyata topotoro fanan kendema bije luntan during tamala abeka domoro ki janni adi manda wala de te ka we bijele anim fanan ka fadi jang ikono e fa e ka fa minne ko pastry anim bakery iko fanan be kalele ba de lomba conference lomba workshop lomba ye fo fendin lon dunia kono domoro betama nyillom international o toda number 1
amanke ba domolo jandama
e sa domo jang is atariya
wo mu kubandi
sa nakko sa futandi
e oto sa nakko be mu CK's restaurant
ndafa nan janna mu yat ni manje dorom bijam
aban
CK's Restaurant, known for best quality food and customer satisfaction.
Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر نفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر وسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Shukran, Imam C. Bishop, you have the floor, please.
Chairman, Lord God Jehovah, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, we continue to call upon your divine mercy, your divine grace, your divine compassion, your divine love over this nation, the Gambia. And we continue to ask that the Holy Spirit's power will overshadow the TRRC with its sitting and with all who will come here as a witness. We pray, Lord, that you will grant the commission the will to be able to discern between truth and falsehood. May we be able to come out with the facts, and may you grant that as the facts come out, that there will be healing, there will be reconciliation, and you who is the God of forgiveness, the God of mercy, and the God of justice, that you will deal with the situation to the full satisfaction of all. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Imam Bishop. Council, are we ready to continue from yesterday's proceedings? If we are, please proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, commissioners, and members of the audience. We are ready to proceed with the witness from yesterday. Could you kindly get the witness, please?
Thank you.
Let me just get my hands off it.
Mr. Jatta, Welcome back to the TRRC.
Thank you.
Are you ready to proceed with today's proceedings?
Yes, please.
Yes. Just a minute ago, I met you in the witness room.
Yes.
And you indicated to me that there is something you would like to say at the beginning of today's hearing. You have the chance to do so. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor. First of all, my apology go to the chairman for some remarks I made when I saw that operation orders. I know that in a meeting of this nature, there was no need to make such sounds. You know, I said sit. Sit could be only for something outside, but not for this place. Please accept my apology, Mr. Chairman. Let me put my headdress down. Thank you.
Mr. Jatta, you were shocked when you saw that, right?
I was shocked, but when I slept over it, I thought of some amendments we tend to make because as we discussed on some of the issues I said I gave to the Army. So I said, I want to go back to you to see whether there are some attachments and so on. But if there were no attachments, oh, I'm getting too close. If there were no attachments, then it's all right.
There were attachments, Mr. Jatta. If you wish, I can send you the whole document to take a look at again.
Okay.
There were attachments, but the important thing for us is the description of the situation. It was false.
For sure, I know it was false. What I wanted to make here.
But as far as I'm concerned, my point is made.
Okay.
That what you signed off on as a description of the situation at the time was false. You also knew at the time that that situation was false.
For sure.
So in fact, there was a government position to really drive falsehood into the minds of the population.
For
correct?
sure, for sure.
So from the beginning, there was a government cover-up of the truth about what was happening.
Sure.
You agree?
Yes, but my area here, the same press release reflects on the introduction. I can confirm, although with no witnesses, we did that, but we sent an amendment to say, let's not walk by that. That would
Who was that amendment
to my units. I can still remember telling them that this may instill some fear. When I mean fear in the soldiers to overreact.
But of course.
Yes.
The soldiers would overreact.
Yes, please.
You send them operation orders telling them that the students whom they were supposed to confront were armed, when you knew fully well that that was a lie.
Yes.
So if soldiers went there and fired shots at the children, you have caused a dangerous situation, didn't you?
Sure. But as they were about to go, I wish the commanding officers were there. We changed the whole thing. We used to send some kind of amendments for that reason. That was why, for the Farafenya incident, I couldn't supervise. But this one, I went personally. Thank God, even when before the army came out, the guys have already dispersed. They only came across retreating.
We would come to that.
Okay, thank you.
The issue of the time your men went out, we would come to that.
Okay.
So what I want to do now is to give you the chance to continue your testimony as to what happened after you issued your operation orders. In fact, may I ask, when were the operational orders issued? Was it on the 10th or was it on the 11th?
On the 10th afternoon.
Let me send the document back to you to take a look at. Take a look at the document.
So it was 10th and changed to 11. It was on the 10th.
Who changed it?
I don't know how this got changed.
This is a document from your office?
Yes, please. But you can see the tent.
Yes, I can see that clearly.
I don't know.
But the thing is, this operation order was probably written on the 10th, but issued on the 11th.
Could be. But I gave instructions.
That is the document from your office, that's what it says.
Yes, for so. Okay, it's all right. It's all right.
It says the 11th.
That was 10 and changed to the 11th.
But this is a document your office submitted to the Commission of Inquiry.
Yes. Yes, please.
Pass it to the chair and
yes,
commissioners to see. So it is your office that is claiming that this document was issued on the 11th. It is not us. This is how we received the report from the Ministry of Justice. So this is authentic.
It should be. It should be.
So your office claims on that document that the operational orders were issued on the 11th. But in the meantime, you had deployed your troops on the 10th, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
So in fact, your troops were deployed without this document.
What it means? Yes, please. By virtue of what was been on that thing, yes. But we send those documents, at least something to hold on. We don't want to, you cannot send these people at that time to give them verbal information. I would like to say at that point in time, they would reject it.
Do you say that again?
If we hadn't sent any other thing to them, and we told them that, okay, your mission is this, this, and that, verbal, we are not helping them.
Indeed, you did not help them.
No, we used to send also situation reports. There are some small one documents being communicated. Those are not attacked there.
Mr. Jatta, sit reps or situation reports are not part of the operational orders. Am I right or wrong?
They are also part of when you want to make some adjustments.
No.
I will send it through my radio.
Mr. Jatta, don't bamboozle us. Sit reps, we all know, situation reports are ex post facto. They are after the occurrence of events. And those events are being reported to a particular authority. They have nothing to do with the mandate. Am I right or am I wrong?
You could get it right, but situation report...
I am either right or wrong.
No, you are right. But here is a situation. If I have to send through my communication radio to Farafenye a message, how do we call that? If I have to call to say, stand down.
Mr. Jatta, I'm not here
if I call to say, stand down.
Answer questions, right?
Yes. That's a situation report.
That is an order.
Yes, situation order. So it could be orders, it could be messages in any form.
Mr. Jatta.
But anything that goes... No, let's not argue. It is my job. We know what situation report is. You see, anything we send by our communication is a situation report. What does situation report entails? I'm coming to situation report. There are situation reports for early morning.
Mr. Jatta, let's not muddy the waters.
Okay.
The question here is not what are sit reps or what are situation reports and things like. The issue here is that here is an operational order.
Yeah.
According to you, according to the document that was provided by your office.
Correct.
All right? And you see there are other markings on the document clearly by the same pen. This is a document from your office. You could have changed it, but you didn't. It says it's the 11th it was issued. Now you want to tell, that is, it was issued one day after the occurrence of events on the 10th. So
but I am 100% sure this came on the 10th.
Well, your document says it came on the 11th.
I don't know what happened.
All right?
No, that's a photocopy, not so.
No. Well, it is a document that is submitted by your office to the Commission of Inquiry.
For sure.
And undoubtedly, there can only be one original. So if there would be many copies of the report, every other document in it would have to be a photocopy.
No. If I said if we could trace the original and we see what happened. You see,
this is an original.
I do accept. Yes, it. We are talking about security of information.
Are you suggesting that you are doubting the validity of a document contained in the report?
I'm not doubting it, but I doubted it.
So you are questioning the authenticity of the document?
Let's talk about security of documents. Information. That's security. We call it. We have 3 categories of information.
Baboucarr, let's not go into that.
Okay, let's yes. Okay, I accept my own fault.
The Commission would make a decision on this as to whether the document was dated on the 10th or the 11th, or whether the document is a fabrication.
Correct.
So the Commission would make a decision on that. So what I want you to now do is to continue your testimony from the point your office issued the operational orders. What happened after that? This was around 1 p.m. you said.
No, 1 o'clock after the news. After the news.
Yes, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
After the press release. You know, after the news, the press release came. In the afternoon.
That would be 1 p.m., wouldn't it?
After 1 o'clock, yes.
Yeah, proceed, please.
Yes. So I called them to give them the signal to move. And I told them where they will meet me. I will be on the ground. Sometimes it is necessary to be on the ground to see what goes on. Because at that point in time, I knew that after the shooting at the Westfield, PIU, the crowd has started going home. Students started going home. When we came out, by the time 1 BN reached Serekunda, they met with the although angry crowd as they could be. They were retreating.
Could you say that again?
1 BN, 1 infantry battalion. They came to Serekunda Street. So when they came to Serekunda, they met some retreating crowd. I think they were just going on their way.
Were you present there?
I was talking to the command battalion officer.
You told us a little while ago that you wanted to be present and you went out. Did you?
Yes, I did go out. What I mean, not to interrupt, but to supervise what they do. Wherever they clear, I've got to make sure that it's cleared. Like Kairaba Avenue, I was within Kairaba Avenue to make sure that that area was cleared. And I met up with my patrol down there. I came through Joshua. I passed by Radio Gambia 2 to make sure that all those grounds are safe. But I went also to Serekunda, Churchillstown. While I was at Churchillstown, by then 1 BN were almost at Old Tipagaras. There they come across Baba Job. And the commanding officer called me. I've got Baba Job here. What do I do with him? I said, ask him what was he doing there. So Baba told Vincent Jatta that they are on the same mission like me, trying to talk to these boys. He called me. I said, no. He should get out of that operation. He was one to get out, and he left.
Mr. Jatta, you have a copy of your statement.
Okay.
Take a look at it, please. Show me where in your statement you have said that after deploying the army, you went out.
If I have to say, okay, just a minute, allow me.
Just tell me,
coming.
Is it in your statement or is it not?
No, it's not in my statement. I tell you, I can't tell you everything that we did. You know, it was a little bit longer than that, 19 years ago. But my duty is to supervise what my boys were doing. When they say that they have cleared some area, it's my duty to come down and see that it's done.
Baboucarr,
Maybe I missed that. I missed that.
You were asked.
I should have that in my statement.
You were asked to write your statement about what happened on that day. Correct? You wrote the most important details in the statement.
Yes.
And you would agree that what you have just told us is significant, is fundamental, isn't it?
Yes, please.
The Army Chief of Staff was going around supervising the operations of his men.
I don't mean not the men. I'm not even getting close to it. When they said they have cleared the area, I cannot go over and take over from them. They told me that Westfield is cleared.
You said you left your office. You went behind, following wherever they went.
Not behind. I said wherever they cleared.
Well,
Then maybe I've missed that one.
that means behind. You were up, you were not in front of them. You were not ahead of them.
I'm not even following them.
All right.
They finished with Westfield long time.
And then you went around.
I did not even tell them I'm coming. I came to see what was at Westfield and go back. That is supervision. It's allowed in any military tactics.
I do not have the authority to question you on what you are allowed to do and what you are not allowed to do.
Yes, please.
What I am trying to tell you is, what you've just said is so important, but it's not in your statement.
Okay, maybe that's why I should have put that in my statement. But I'm also telling you, sometimes, you see, when you fire some questions, certain things pop up also in my mind to remind me of certain things. We cannot have everything on this statement because...
Mr. Jatta, this is an afterthought.
But I'm telling you, it has been quite a long time now.
This is an afterthought. You see, the time you went out, how many times did you go out on that day?
I went out twice.
What?
Twice.
Twice is not this.
2 times, two. Okay, let's confirm this. Sorry for that, sorry.
You went out twice?
I want to confirm that the job has been done. I don't have to go after them.
Answer the question.
The first go was at Westfield. The second go, when I went out, was around Radio Gambia, going down to Kairaba, traffic light. I have to go out and see what's in the street without talking to them. How about if I had to go down and meet something that they told me that Kairaba is cleared and when it's not cleared? To be sure.
How many times?
Twice.
How many times did you encounter the students as part of this demonstration?
One in the morning, and that was it.
Not
in the morning, you know.
Not twice in the morning.
No. That time it was police operation. In the morning was police operations.
And in the afternoon?
That was the army.
We will come to that. We will come back to that.
Okay.
But just be rest assured that you have to be careful what you say, because we have your statement here.
For sure.
All right. So you said you went out and supervised.
Inspect. Okay, let's say inspect.
All right.
Supervise, inspect is all the same.
All right. Okay. So tell us where you went.
The first go I told you that I was at Westfield to supervise, to inspect Kairaba Avenue.
And during this time, what did you see?
The student has gone. The whole place was clear. Very, very few people you can see.
Yes, proceed, please.
Towards 6 o'clock, I came out by Radio Gambia, moved off the traffic light. Yesterday, all those places were all cleared. So we thought we can make a press release to that effect, but they said it's all right. I tell them, let's not do that. The people will come out by themselves. You know. So we went back. That was, by 6 o'clock, everything was all over on day one. Day one is on the 10th.
All right. We would come back to all that.
Okay.
Okay. And what happened the next day?
Day 2. Farafenye. We were on standby door.
the Farafenya commanding officer called to say, they've got some disturbance around Jara, some going to the provinces, Birkamaba, Basse. But prior to that, I told him to make some arrangements for fuel and whatever they need, and we will to send us the receipts later. So he did that. They took off. He called me to say, we are taking off. I said, okay, safe journey. Because knowing fully well from there on, there will be no communication. The only time
what do you mean by that?
Yes, because of distance. We did not cover the whole of the country with our radios. At that point in time, yes.
There was mobile phones at the time?
At that time, there were mobile phones, but not very efficient around those provinces.
So you lost total communication?
No, our units are there.
With your units?
From Jarasoma to Kudang, within that distance, we may lose communication. But around Kudang, our radios were there, though they also have some range that they can cover.
Tell us which troops you deployed on that day.
On the commanding officer's advice, we said you have to deploy a platoon size.
Where?
To wherever he wanted them to go to with. So now, the disposition of men is left to him. We are thinking of what we are capable of.
Did you deploy men from Farafenya barracks?
Yes, that's 2BN. Farafenya is 2BN.
Yes.
The commanding officer will certainly live with some men.
I am giving you the chance
to
explain where you deployed your men, but it's taking too long for you to give us an answer. If you don't give us the answers that we need, then I would just put up I'll just put the case to you.
Okay.
You deployed troops from Farafenye to Birkamaba, correct?
Not from Farafenye itself. On the 2BN. There are men at Farafenye, there are men at Kudang, there are men at Basse. I am coming to that.
Yes. You deployed men from Farafenye to Birkamaba, correct?
Yes, that's at the disposition of the commanding officer.
He did so on your order?
No.
Are you denying?
No, I'm not denying.
Are you denying that you ordered the deployment of men from Farafenye to BN?
No, the commanding officer has to go with his men. He cannot go alone.
Did you order the movement of your troops?
Yes, I ordered the movement of my troops.
You could have said yes
earlier.
No,
it's the way we are going about it. You see, we have some military undertakings that we may not understand. When I said that deployment from 2BN, that's a battalion. Now, the battalion commander is to turn back and advise.
I have told you
not
several times, I have spent 20 years of my career dealing with war crimes cases. I understand military matters, but that is not an issue here. Just answer the questions you are asked. Did you order the deployment of your troops from Farafenye to Birkamaba?
Yes, please. Even to Basse.
Thank you.
To Basse.
Yes, this is what I wanted. You deployed men from Kudang to Farafenye, to Birkamaba. You deployed men from Farafenye to Birkamaba. You also used your troops from Basse, correct?
That's it.
Good. So
now you are coming.
Yes. Tell us what happened after the deployment of these troops.
One of the proposals is to at least, wherever there were key point installations, to pay attention to them. Our targets are key point installations. That is why Jarasoma we had no problem. Up to Kudang we had no problem, but at Birkamaba, Basse we had no problem. But the problem lies at Birkamaba.
How about Janjambure?
We were at Janjambure, whether damages have been made or not, but already the boys were there. Wherever they were called to, he would certainly go there.
In fact, your men from Basse, Farafenye, and Kudang took over the government effort to quell the students' demonstration. Is that not right?
For sure, that was right. And that's what they should do.
And in fact, this was police responsibility. But you took it over nonetheless.
Were the police out by then? No.
Could you speak up louder?
Were the police out by to Brikama? No. Day number one, the police said they can't move. They said that in the Vice President's office. The Interior Minister says so. That was why we came out. If the police were ready to go back to the streets on that day, or a day after, we would have remained in the barracks.
No, you went out because you were ordered to do so by the Vice President. That's what you said.
Yes, that was why the Vice President had to take that decision. Do you understand that one?
No. Help us understand.
From early, let's say 6 to 12 o'clock, let's say around 12 o'clock, when the shooting happened at the PIU headquarters. When we retreated to Vice President's office, the police said they cannot move any further. All that operations, internal security force belongs to the police because there was nothing like an armed conflict door. The participation of the army in every internal security situation is always 10%. But here is a situation where the police say they can't move further.
Did you say that in the statement?
No, I didn't say that in the statement. But did the police mention the same thing as to?
Did you hear the police say that here?
I'm now asking you, did the police ever tell you that they couldn't move? I know I'm not supposed to ask you questions.
Jatta,
I'm telling you the police couldn't move at that point in time.
Mr. Jatta.
Yes, please.
I am not here to answer questions. My job is to ask the questions.
But then you can return the question to me in style.
And even in your statement,
yes,
take a look at it. Okay. Paragraph 15, the last line. You were saying they were busy diagnosing solutions to these problems with the students. From the meeting, it was obvious that the police had lost control of the exercise.
It was mentioned there.
No, but there is nothing there where you said that it was decided now to deploy the army because the police said they can no longer move.
Yes, please.
So this is different. But I would leave it at that. Okay. Proceed, please, with your testimony as to what your men did in these areas. Farafenye, Janjambure, and Birkama.
Birkama Basse.
Yes,
but those people are salient points. Yes. What they did was, at that point was, I told them that just push this demonstrations out of all key points installation.
What kind of weapons were they deployed with?
AK-47.
What kinds of ammunition?
7.62 millimeter caliber. That's for the AK-47.
Was it live rounds?
Live was with them.
Or blank?
With blank ammunition.
With blank ammunition?
Yes, please.
Why did they carry live ammunition?
For their protection. Anything can happen. They are on their own at that moment. Whatever happens, they have to fight to death. But two, it's our dress code. Once you issue that ammunition, a weapon, they have to go with live round. It's our dress code. Wherever, in every operation, they have to go with ammunition.
All right. So once you go out on operation, what happens at the end of the operation?
That's what we call after action review, AAR. Come back, sit down. Each and every unit, from the lowest unit to the platoon commander to company to the battalion commander, each and everybody has to give a report of, we call it an assessment of what really happened on the ground. Then check your arms and ammunition, inspect everything.
How do you call that exercise?
After action review.
No, checking of the arms and ammunition.
That is inspection of the weapons.
Isn't it first quarter something?
First quarter? No, first line or what?
Yes, first line quarter.
No, that's what you issue out.
Okay, and when you
check on what you have issued.
Okay,
but
so
at the same time,
after action review.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. Let me make another statement here. It doesn't necessarily mean that issuing the soldiers with first line ammo. You may also go with your reserve, so in case there's a need for it. All that has to be worked out by the commanding officer, not me.
So, on the 11th, you deployed troops.
Yes, please.
They went.
Yes.
They finished their work, and there was to be after-action review.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
All right. And that is what would normally happen in the military, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So now let us take you back to certain aspects of your testimony.
Okay.
This is the deployment of the soldiers.
Yes.
Do you recall that your soldiers were arresting student leaders?
Yes, we did arrest some student leaders because I also found one Gamsu leader in Yundum.
During the actual demonstration, your men were arresting student leaders.
No, not student leaders. By coincidence, we did not go for students. Why were they?
So your men were present on the ground during the demonstration to be able to arrest student leaders during that demonstration?
No. The arrest was a sense of whenever there's a crowd, look for the most active ones, separate them.
And then arrest them?
Yeah, and arrest means separating them.
Yes. Was that done?
What that was done. It was part of their mission.
By your men?
By my men.
So they separated the leaders from the crowd?
Yes, the most active men in the crowd.
The most active from the crowd?
Yes.
And they arrested them?
They are arrested,
okay.
Yes. We call it an arrest.
So obviously, when this arrest was being done, the crowd was there?
Yes, the crowd, so the crowd went about. They got dispersed. Yeah.
By your men?
No, when we got them, the rest dispersed because we are chasing them.
So what I am trying to drive at here, Mr. Jatta, is that your men were there during the demonstration. They did not come after.
We came after. We arrested when it was our turn.
How could they have come after? You said your men were there.
Okay.
During the demonstration, they separated the leaders from the rest.
No, not the leaders. I said not the leaders. The police arrested the leaders.
Baboucarr, am I dreaming?
No.
This is what you just said a minute ago.
I mean, not Gamsu leaders. For every group, you see some active men among them. So what you do, pick the most active ones and separate them from.
And your men did that?
That's the mission they were given.
Yes. So now you want to tell us your men did not do that?
You should be able to also to curtail it. Just understand what I was also trying to say. If it's in tune with you.
Baboucarr, your men were on the ground and separated the demonstrators from their leaders and arrested the leaders.
Yes.
So your men were there during the demonstration?
By what time? In the afternoon, yes.
Your men were also on the ground during the morning?
In the morning. They could be there, but not arrest. They were not given instructions.
But they were there?
I was the only person in the crowd. I only authorized myself and my men to be down there.
Baboucarr, this is now becoming comical.
No. So
you've just accepted that your men were there in the morning.
No.
And then now you're telling us you are the only person you authorized to be there.
In the morning, I told everybody, you are grounded. Every unit were grounded, except myself and my orderly who went into the crowd.
But you know that that is not true.
How far?
Very far.
Okay.
You know that was not true.
Yes, come in.
Yourself, in your testimony yesterday, you told us that people were telling you that soldiers were shooting students.
And I told them that I did not order them.
We are not talking about ordering yet.
If they were, no, how far through also was that this was from the soldiers?
Okay, I would confront you with that. Okay. But I am putting it to you, Mr. Jatta, that your troops were already in the ground during the morning and were busy shooting students.
Okay.
And you were told about it.
Yes, when I came to...
You were told about it.
Yes, they told me about it.
Did you do anything at that time when you were told that your soldiers were on the ground shooting students? Did you do anything about it?
I did something about it.
What did
when
you
I
do?
find out, I was told that the engineers were going to Banjul and they were stoned by the boys, by the demonstrators. They also got down and returned stone. That one was, they told me that.
Baboucarr. Mr. Jatta, this is now becoming very comical. I do accept
something may happen in my absence.
This is becoming very comical.
You know, when we talked, we are talking about something, but let's go how we go into it.
You just told us you grounded all the forces, all the troops. Now, in the next second, you're telling us that the engineers were going to Banjul and they were stoned. So it means you did not ground the troops.
No, they took off before we ground them. Early morning. Do you understand that one?
No, I don't.
I am saying, when I left the GTT, I went to my office to ground this man. But they told me that the engineers has left.
From where?
Going to Banjul for maintenance, renovation. They are not armed.
Okay, but the allegation is not that your troops threw stones at the students. The allegation is that your troops threw bullets at the students.
Fired at the students.
Exactly.
Yes, that I'm saying it was not to my knowledge.
But you were told whilst you were there on the ground.
In the crowd.
Yes. Did you do anything about it?
That's what I'm saying. It was there I get to investigate to know that I get to know that the men who were released at that point in time were the engineers.
But the engineers were only throwing stones.
Yes. Nobody told me that a section has, or some men has been released to GTTI. The battalion commander would not tell. But I raised that issue with them too.
You see, the testimony you gave yesterday.
Okay.
I asked you, after you had this information, that your men, your soldiers, were shooting at the students, what did you do? You said you continued with the children.
I told them that if I had ordered the shooting, it should be me. If anybody has to order the shooting should be me.
You said that also.
Yes.
But having said that, what you did was you continued with the students.
I was in the middle of the students.
Yeah, okay, just a moment. Essentially, you are telling us you did not do anything about what you were told.
How credible is that one too?
You asking me?
That's what I'm saying.
You are the army commander.
I
you
mean
are the
from
CDS.
the source, from the source. The source. Sometimes look at the person, also look for credibility. That's another thing.
Did you see?
But yes, still, it was my duty at that time to pacify them.
Did you see any shootings afterwards?
The only shooting I witnessed was at the PIU.
But did you hear sounds of guns being fired?
No.
Are you serious?
I came from official coming. I did not hear at that point.
Are you telling us that you did not hear sounds of gunfire?
That's where?
Before you arrived at PIU?
I did not hear. If I heard that, I would have said I heard. But mark you, it was very noisy in that moment, so much so that I can't even receive my phone call.
It was so noisy that you could not hear sounds of gunfire?
No. How about, where were me, I myself, when this shot were fired? No. The guy told me at the LG cell station, that's why he met me, he said shooting has, some soldiers have started shooting. But when? Could it be when I was at Africell? Could it be when I was in between or any other place?
Okay, so let me show you what some of the students said.
Okay.
Yes. Just give me a minute. Let me get it. Mr. Chair, just give me a moment. Let me get the references right. Let me read out a statement from one of the witnesses, Alaji S. Dabo, Mr. Chair. He's already testified, and he's talked about this. And this is at Westfield. He said, some were heading to Westfield. Perhaps let me read from the paragraph before.
Okay.
He says, the SOS, Usman Baji, started saying that they knew that we were under the influence of the oppositions, that all the opposition figures who were behind us would be arrested and charged. We were about to board to the vehicles to be taken to GTTI when we heard the students chanting for our release just outside the PIU premises.
Okay.
That is the arrested student leaders.
All right.
I could hear gunshots as well. We told the SOS to tell his men to stop firing, but he said the order had already been given. We were conditionally released to calm down the students, obviously around 10 a.m. in the morning. 9 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
Paragraph 25. Some were heading to Westfield. We followed them and gathered them at the monument to address them. Omar Juf stood on the wall of the monument, flanked by me and a BBC reporter, Ibrahim Asila. Before he could give his address, a military truck arrived and firing started.
Okay, let's go over it.
Is he lying?
It could be. I'm not denying. What I am saying, they did not report the matter to me. I expect my officers also to respect it. Okay, here's the situation. When they were up to the time of their detention and release, I was not there.
Let me continue with this paragraph.
All right.
There was use of tear gases as well to disperse the students. At one point, I couldn't open my eyes and stranded against the wall while the firing was going on. A soldier came to me with his gun while I raised my hands. He asked me why I was there. I told him I was a student leader and he advised me to leave the area because it was not safe, which I managed to do so. I headed towards GTTI. So your men were there.
Okay.
Your men participated in the shooting in the morning.
All right. At the GTTI?
At the Westfield.
At Westfield? Unfortunately, nobody told me about it.
Okay. Let me get you another reference.
Okay.
And listen to this one. This one is interesting.
Okay.
Says, when I arrived at the scene, I found the paramilitary. Listen carefully. I found the paramilitary chasing the students and firing rubber bullets to disperse them.
Okay, where?
Listen. At Westfield, I found students struggling against the soldiers. You see the difference?
Okay.
Paramilitary and soldiers who were chasing them. The soldiers then fired some gunshots, killing some of the students and wounded others. Mr. Halifa Saleh appeared at the scene and gave a consolatory advice to the students, indicating to us that we should avoid the demonstration to avert chaos. He further went on saying, we should not be involved in vandalism and not to destroy the country as we are the future leaders. He had already convinced us and we were about to disperse when Baboucarr Jatta, the chief of defense staff, also arrived. Baboucarr came to the scene and the students rushed on him and wanted to kill him because they were annoyed by the order he gave for the shootings to lead to the death of our fellow students and the abuses meted out on them. I was part of the students who defended and protected the CDS so as to help him give an escort to the PIU, headquarters. So what this person is saying is when he arrived at the Westfield, your soldiers were busy shooting at students. But subsequently, you arrived. And he was one of those who helped escort you to the PIU. So this must have been when you returned from the Pakunda, coming towards Westfield, and you were attacked by a group of students.
Yes.
So you see, at this stage, your soldiers were already at Westfield shooting and killing students.
Then I was undermined.
By who?
I need to know who these soldiers, where these soldiers come from. Honestly speaking, nobody told me about it. You see, at the point of, they did not even allow me to get to Westfield. Because I was at Westfield once. By then, there was no shooting when we were talking to the boys. Then I went with the SOS to the Pakunda. He came back with my vehicle. I remained there bringing these boys.
You see,
but then whatever happens is that definitely nobody told me about it and I was not aware. But even if shooting had to happen there, I may assume, could it also be from the left-hand side? But I cannot even tell you. But I know that I do have some firing. Listen, I'm coming to it. But in my front there, I can't guarantee you that I had some firing from the front.
You see, the first time you came to the students, you were received basically like a hero.
Yeah, for sure.
But the second time, they wouldn't have you. They were pelting stones at you.
I was bringing the other students to Westfield when we left Juve there.
Yes, but those at Westfield were...
They refused to receive us.
Exactly, because your soldiers were killing them.
Yes, that's what I was telling you. I wondered what happened. Why did these boys turn to aggression?
Well, it was your soldiers.
Thank God. You know, I tell you the other time, you told me something
I would say unfortunately, not thank God.
Unfortunately, honestly. You told me something that I don't know. And I told you in the office.
Mr. Jatta, you told us
yes, for sure,
that you had grounded your forces.
I have grounded.
That is false.
Yes, that was false. But then who gave
Those
the order?
Those are your words, not mine.
Yes, but I would never give any order. Imagine that that's Westfield. If if they had fired towards our end, we did not expect that to happen.
You see, Mr. Jatta, the interesting thing here is that there were several forces at Westfield armed with guns and they were shooting. There was no military or police casualty.
From our end?
There must have been coordination among your forces.
The students were not also armed. They're armless.
I am saying, if you have two different forces on the ground and they are all shooting, tear gas was being thrown, and they do not shoot each other, there must have been coordination amongst them.
Okay, for sure.
So there was the military, there was the police. Who coordinated them?
I did not coordinate them. Even if I had to shoot, I would rather get myself out of that crowd.
But
whoever,
You agree they must have been coordinated?
As you have stated, there must be coordination. Otherwise, we are going to overlap.
Yes, they're going to kill one another.
There will be an overlap.
Yes.
Yes.
I would not call it overlap. I would say they would kill one another.
For sure. Overlap means towards the end we will be arguing.
But there was no such thing. So who coordinated this?
I can tell you, between me and God.
Well, you were CDS, these were your troops.
Yet still, I went into the public. Now they are telling me that this has happened in my absence. At the time of leaving the Westfield, if it was very peaceful there. And I expect to bring these people to Westfield to be addressed by Omar Juf. Because now, even at the Pakunda, we have to coordinate. I told them, let's go to Westfield. They said, no, their men are with the PIU under detention. I said, but Juf is at Westfield. Now we reach an agreement. We will go to Westfield to meet Juf. In the absence of Juf's presence, we'll go to the PIU.
We have covered that ground. There is no controversy.
A reminder about that, yeah.
The controversy is, before you arrive at Westfield, from Africell Point, you were told.
No, not Africell, LG.
From around Africell, you were told that your soldiers were shooting.
LG.
At LG, you were told that.
When we are by Canifing Secondary.
Exactly.
Middle school or what?
Exactly. And who told you? Was it somebody in your crowd there?
No, the guy came.
From the other side?
Yes, from the other side.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't think that guy is a student because he has his shirt off.
Okay, fine.
No matter what.
But you were
told me.
Okay. And you wanted to proceed to Westfield, correct?
Yeah, but we couldn't move.
Why was that? Because the students were hostile towards you.
Yeah, were very hostile.
You see? And that makes this statement quite correct. Because this witness is saying, you were trying to come there and the students would not have you. He was one of those who came and gave you escort to the PIU.
No, he did not escort me. I still remain under the escort of the other students I came with.
But how do you know that this witness was one of those who escorted
because they opened up for him to talk to me.
Clearly you were escorted
by
the students.
Yeah, by the students.
To the PIU.
But they did not attack me.
Yes, that's what they said.
Yes.
He said they escorted you to the PIU.
Okay, he could be part of them.
So
yes,
this witness is speaking the truth.
Okay, for sure.
For sure.
I really don't know who gave that soldiers the right to come to that point and open fire.
Are you suggesting that you lost control of your men?
Command and control.
Did you lose control of your men? I
lost command and control.
You lost both?
Yes. When I mean command and control...
I know command and control, Baboucarr. Let's not go into definitions.
I will tell you more.
If I want something defined, I would ask you. You are our military expert here. We give you that. If we need you to explain certain things, we would ask you. So, after you returned to Banjul...
Okay.
Did you check whether, in fact, your men from any of your forces was on the ground shooting at students? Tell us the truth.
Sincerely and honestly, I told my deputy, I hope nobody was involved in this shooting. They told me no. I called the commanding officer. I said,
Which commanding officer?
I call Yundum. I call Fajara.
Baboucarr, these people would be called to come and testify.
Please.
Be careful what you say.
One is late.
Yes, it's easy to pin it on the late ones, but...
Yes. The men.
Yeah.
There could be somebody. I was talking to the commanding officer. I said, I'm from the crowd. This is what happened. I almost got shot, but some civilians have died. I'm now right moment I'm from the meeting.
But we have at least 4 witnesses who said your soldiers were already on the ground shooting. And you cannot dispute their stories.
I will take it. I will take that.
See?
I will take that. But then who are these people?
Which people?
This is the thing. Maybe if they were able to identify anybody, I mean, that would have helped. But you know, I'm telling you, even when things go wrong in operations, commanders face a lot of problems. And you know, as a commander, if you
thing here, Baboucarr, the problem here is that from the night before, you had planned to give the police some backup. You prepared your forces and you deployed them in the morning.
In the morning?
Yes.
No. If there were deployment in the morning, we'd not even back any police.
Could you speak up?
If there were deployment, the police did not ask us to come in. But I know...
But the question is not if there were deployments. The question is, was there or was there not?
There was no deployment.
But people say your forces were there.
Okay.
How do you explain that?
I want to say to them, it could be out of curiosity right there, but you know, in the early morning, sensitive areas, like if the patrol is between that area, we used to have patrol.
Baboucarr, take this thing seriously.
I do.
You think it is out of curiosity that they left their barracks, came to Westfield and start shooting at students?
At an order.
Of course. And whose order would that be?
That couldn't be my order. This is what I'm saying. I've been undermined.
Undermined by who?
Whoever gave that order. Whoever gave that order must have undermined me.
Who could have given that order?
Anybody below me would never give that order. Unless an instruction comes through, but I know.
Are you saying, therefore, that the order was from above you?
If that's the case, I should say the order should be above.
No, I'm just asking a question based on your answer. I asked you who could have given that order.
It could be
you said nobody below me
should give that, had the right to give that order.
We're not talking about right here. We're talking about who had the authority to give that order other than you, apart from you.
Nobody has the authority to give that order, especially when I'm in that crowd, to turn around and start shooting the men. If it had happened, I was grossly undermined. And if I had known that person, that would be another hell. Unless you are above me, I will expose you.
But if the person is above you?
Well,
keep quiet.
That's why the box stops.
So you keep quiet?
Yeah, the man's response...
Isn't that in fact what happened here?
The man's response... Just a minute.
Isn't that in fact what happened here, Mr. Jatta?
As you have just reported, I believe that must have happened. I did not rule it out.
The thing is, the entire government machinery was used to cover up this thing.
That's what I was telling you. I had not ruled out that I was undermined. You see, Council, here is one thing. We commanders, senior officers, are very careful of losing our moral authority. You see, if I use my men for a bad job, one day, within the soldiers, I'll account for it. That's why we try to avoid.
Okay, let's make progress.
Okay.
Okay. You left the combos knowing fully well that it's been alleged that your men were there shooting at students. When you went to State House, did you inform the Vice President that, well, you've been told that your men were there shooting? And inquired as to who may have deployed them?
No, I did not do that.
Did you, after that, make an investigation from the troops that you have in the vicinity, Fajara Barracks, Yundum Barracks, and so forth, as to whether there's been any deployment of troops?
I asked, they said no deployment was made.
Baboucarr, who did you ask?
The commanding officers, the men who command the men. The commanders who command the men.
Are you sure you did that?
I really asked. I said, here's a situation.
There is no such thing in your statement.
Okay. No, I tell you, I can't have everything as you wanted it.
But Baboucarr, isn't this important?
Look, it's very important, but I'm saying, now that you have some information regarding to this, if they had taken me, we would have amended all this with the investigators.
Give us names of the people you asked.
The commanding officer was always Vincent Jatta, the late Vincent Jatta. Cherno Jallo is at Fajara Barracks. At that point in time, those are the people. The Navy were never out. They did not come out at that point.
No, we know the Navy was not involved.
Yes.
Okay. Cherno Jallo, where is he?
He's working with the UN.
He's not available?
In Darfur. No, he was fired.
The commission would make up its mind on these things. But I want to give you the opportunity to answer, to react to this. You did not do anything about that accusation, that your men were there in the morning firing their weapons.
It should be a separate investigation or questioning of my men. But I did not take it. I took it lightly.
Exactly. You did not do anything about it.
Yes.
So this issue about I called my commanding officers, I spoke to my deputy, it's just a cover-up.
No. I need to inform them of what happened.
But the reality is you did not talk to them about this. Thank you very much.
But I did also I visited the scene at the PIU and so on. And I was trying to ask some people, especially the Red Cross, where did those bodies lie? Because we want to know where the 13 bodies, 11 or so, 2 were from the Kamaba area and also. The rest of the men, where did they pick them?
When did you do that?
Immediately after.
Immediately after when?
Not on that same day. I came out to find out. The Red Cross picked them.
After all this?
Yes, the Red Cross picked them.
All right. Okay, thank you very much for being so interested in how many people died and you went out to find out. But the fact of the matter is, when you were told your men were there shooting at us, you did not make any inquiries.
I'm sorry for that. I'm very, very sorry for that. That was a very important thing.
You should have done, but you did not. So when you told us earlier than you did, it was just a smoke screen.
Yeah, I don't know, sometimes maybe, you see, when such damages occur, there's always panic and confusion within our system.
Are you panicked now?
Right now I'm not panicked, but on that day I was panicked when that thing happened.
Thank God, so that you are not panicked now.
Yes, and things are coming to light.
But be careful how you answer questions.
Okay.
Because to the same question, you would give 2 completely different answers.
But that's why you are my guide.
No. Well, I am trying to guide you to be truthful, but you are guiding yourself to falsehood.
No. Whenever you fire one question, I can see some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. The next question.
And that's why...
Yes. You see, now I'm trying to piece together.
Let me advise you one thing. Don't develop a tactical approach to answering my questions.
Okay.
Just speak the truth.
Yeah.
Because if you take the former, we would catch you lying.
So, for sure.
So, you did not tell Baji, your deputy, you did not tell the commanding officers that you received an allegation that your men were on the ground shooting.
No, I didn't tell them, for sure.
Thank you very much.
For sure.
So now let's progress. The next day, your men went to the ground.
Yes.
They participated in activities. And thereafter, you told us that you should do some after-action review of what happened, correct?
Yes.
Did you do that?
I did that.
And then a report was produced, correct?
By the commanding officer.
Yes. Correct?
But I wonder whether he really stated the real after-action to the procedure.
When do you wonder that? At that time or now?
When immediately I got his report. Before getting his report, I said, prepare your report. Before getting the report, then we got this message that there will be a commission of inquiry.
Mr. Jatta.
Okay.
This event occurred on April 10th and 11th, correct?
Yes.
And soon after that, under military protocol, you are required to do your AAR, as you call it, after action review. Correct?
Yes.
Did you do it?
I did it. Do you know what we do? We used to have quarterly return. You ask for immediate returns of arms and ammunition in the various forms. Security of personnel, security of information, security of equipment.
And how about the security of the civilians who you came into contact with?
For the actions.
Yes.
Then we start to get a report. But the report on Westfield did not reflect.
So did you do a report on Westfield?
On Westfield.
Where is that report?
Check the headquarters.
Well,
no, not in this. Not in this. They did not ask for it. It's, here, I'm telling you, here's a situation here where we got a little bit confused about the whole investigation. I was told by the CJ that they were interested in a major event at where students lost, they had casualty.
Yes, because
but if there were something like an information to say, your men shot at Westfield, that would be another investigation.
Yes, because that fact was hidden.
Yeah, and he did not also ask for any briefing. Prior to
Mr. Jatta,
yes.
That fact about the participation or involvement of your men at Westfield was hidden.
Sure, for sure.
So they would not have asked you to provide information on that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. You did not do any report on Westfield?
On Westfield, there was a report.
Okay. We would ask the Army to produce it.
Please.
Mr. Chair, we would write to the Army today and ask them to produce this report that Mr. Jatta is talking
I
about.
said there must be a report.
There must be, or there was?
There must be a report.
Yeah. No. Was there a report, or there must be a report?
I had prepared a report during our short briefing. We wrote something. And then we intend to send it even to the Ministry of Defense.
Okay, we will take a look at it.
Please.
All right.
Yes.
But we know that for Farafenye,
yes.
for the other operations, there was a report.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. But before we start talking about this report, I want to ask you whether under Army procedure you did the after-action review.
Yes, at the unit level, coming to our level.
Okay.
Yes.
And when you did your after-action review, did you see the report?
The report? He sent the report to me.
And do you believe that the report was accurate?
I saw so many shortfalls.
When did you see those shortfalls?
It took time before we got the report, because the operation was not completed with them. We kept some men at Brikamaba. When I was told that they will be sending investigators, they said they have to remain there for security. But initially, I wanted to go to Brikamaba myself. That's what I should do. If for nothing, I have the intention to meet the relatives of those victims. But
what
now,
I am
so
talking
after the
about,
delay, by the time it came, I got a message now. The matter is going to be, there will be a commission of inquiry, and the investigations will be done by the commission.
When did you hear that?
I used to go to the CJ.
I'm not even talking about that. What I am talking about is internal within the Army itself. Did you do your after-action review?
Yes, after-action review.
And you said you saw the report.
We prepared a report.
Was the report correct?
To what I saw, but then now as we talk, it doesn't go well.
Answer the question, correct. Was the report correct?
For me, I was satisfied with it.
You were satisfied with it?
Well, because up to that point, nobody told me that you had a casualty.
Okay, so that, are you impliedly accepting that the report did not say that there was a casualty?
No.
You're saying that?
For sure.
Okay. How about the use of bullets?
No, that one we know. That's an SOP.
What did you know?
If you send out men, all I have to do is tell me how much ammunition has been used.
And your after-action review showed how much ammunition was expended?
Yes, then the RQ will compare to what the RQ has issued, or where the unit ammunition has been issued. We used to have, other than emergency operation, we used to have quarterly returns. We call it quarterly returns of arms ammunition. Every 3 months, they'll tell you.
So after this operation, you did your AAR, you knew how much ammunition was expended?
Yes, please.
And from your recollection, live ammo was used?
Yes.
And from your recollection, your men were in fact involved in killing civilians?
Well, as you said, they were involved.
You agree?
I will agree.
Okay. And you were told that a commission of inquiry would happen, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, besides your men being involved in killings, they were also involved in arresting and torture of demonstrators.
Yes, at Birkamaba. Or even here, during the arrest, it's always a scuffle. But now here, it's...
But you knew all these things before the commissions of inquiry,
yes,
correct?
I know that during the arrest there will be a scuffle and the boys will use force.
But you knew all these facts?
Even without being on the ground.
But you knew all these facts before the commission of inquiry?
Well, yes.
Good. Thank you. And the commission of inquiry, you were called as a witness?
I was called. But we had 2 sessions.
Just hear me out.
Yes.
Did you tell the commission of inquiry that your men in Birkamaba were involved in killing civilians?
We did not reach there when they cut me off.
The question
My purpose was to tell them.
We are not talking about your intentions. You see, now you can have whatever intention you want in the world. The question is, did you tell the commission of inquiry that your men were involved in killing civilians in Birkamaba?
No.
Did you tell the commission of inquiry that your men were involved in arresting and torturing civilians in Birkamaba, Janjambure, and Basse?
No.
Did you tell the commission of inquiry that your men were in fact using live ammunition on the civilians?
No. The reason being?
Just answer questions.
Yes, no.
Just answer questions.
No.
Wouldn't that be a fundamental omission to the commission of inquiry?
I did not even reach there during the commission.
But the issue is, wouldn't that be a fundamental omission?
Listen to me here, please, Counsel. I need to explain something.
Please go ahead.
When the discussion started at the commission, like how I'm facing you right now, 30 minutes into the discussion, Baindongo Fall, led Baindongo Fall, had a serious problem of questioning.
I beg your pardon, Baindongo Fall is not late. By the way, he's my brother. He's sitting at home and probably watching.
Oh, Gamsu, Gamstar. Okay, sorry. He had a serious problem with the chief.
And may he live long.
May he live long. He had a serious problem with the Chief Justice, and they were arguing among themselves, right there under the public eye. Mrs. Awasise Sabali could be my witness. He was the student's lawyer.
But that
we did not reach to that. I was told to go home.
Yes,
go back. We will come back later.
That does not answer my question. Okay.
It would have come in.
Let's do it differently. Your office submitted a report to the Commission of Inquiry, correct? And the report was supposed to be a detailed account of the deployment of your troops, correct?
Yes.
Now let's see what you have to say in the report. Page 22? Page 221 of Exhibit 83, Mr. Chair.
Bring the paper for me. This was that of 2 Infantry Battalion. Yes, this is that of 2 Infantry Battalion.
Yes. So you would agree that...
Piqueta.
Okay. This is a report from written by one of your men.
A commanding officer.
Yes.
Yes.
So essentially it is a report from the Gambia National Army.
Yes, please.
And as the commander of the army, it is your report.
That's my report, yes.
Yes, the chair, they have seen this before. Yes, so kindly give it to Mr. Jatta. I want you to read the last paragraph of the report.
The conclusion or what?
Yes, that last paragraph, yes.
After the 1 week later, a check on the first line of arm of soldiers from battalion headquarters who participated in the operations was conducted and all confirmed to be intact.
And what does that mean?
That's to say, not a single round was ever fired.
Isn't that a lie?
That was a lie.
But you knew before this report that this was a lie.
I did something about it.
What did you do about it?
I went to the CJ and I said, by virtue of this report, there was nothing written on this.
There is what?
Nothing said about what we want from this report. And I said, this is the first time the commanding officer commands a unit, and it was the first time he has to write, allow us to conduct investigation in one form. I will send my ballistic expert to the ground. I will send my armory expert to the ground. I'll send my tactician, and I'll send my quartermaster to the ground. They will help him gather all this information. But I was told this is an investigation for the Commission of Inquiry. They will conduct their own investigation.
Mr. Jatta, with all due respect, you submitted a false report to the Commission of Inquiry.
Yes.
And yet you went back to that same Commission of Inquiry and you told the Chief Justice that, well, this report I have submitted is false.
Before the Commission of Inquiry.
This is what you want to tell us?
Yes, I personally went to him to show him that we are not happy with this report. Allow us to go down to the ground and prepare a better one.
Did you write to him to withdraw this report?
I went in person.
Okay. Let's do it this way, Mr. Jatta. Before this report was submitted, you knew it was false.
I know that there was nothing and it was false.
Yet, you allowed the report to be submitted to the Commission.
I don't want them to see me interfering. That's why I took this to the Chief Justice. Because if Quetta was put under pressure, he may say, my initial report, I was dictated.
Baboucarr.
They said they are going to conduct their own report.
It is
quite different from that of the military.
It is easy to now sit here and try to not own up to the mistakes.
I do accept any mistake you tell me, but I want you to explain some aspects. That's why I'm explaining.
But how do you explain this? Convince the Commission that you submitted a false report knowing that it was patently false in every material particular. Yet you turn around and went back to the same person to whom that report was submitted to say, hang on, my report was false. And then you sat there and you saw the report was relied on and put in the Commission of Inquiry report. You did not do anything about it. You intended to have the Commission misled. You intended to have the Commission believe the contents of this false report, period.
Do I come in? When I got this report, it came earlier than the Commission. I went to the CJ and said, I have a report from my officer, but I'm not satisfied with the report. We went through it. And I said, I prefer.
So this report came before the commission started?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went to the CJ before the commission started and told him about the problem?
Yes. That allow me.
Okay. Just answer the question.
Yes.
And yet, when the commission started, you took this report and submitted it to the commission? I am lost. I am confused.
Okay, here's the situation.
But Mr. Jatta, we have to move on.
Yes, for sure.
Let's leave this for the commission to decide.
Okay.
But I put it to you that this report was part of the government cover-up to falsify facts about the situation.
Yes.
True or false?
True.
Thank you very much.
Now that nothing came out of it.
Thank you.
I just wanted to explain what action we thought could have been taken. You see, whatever comes from the TRRC here, I believe could be a recipe to rectify a lot of things. That is my approach.
Yes, and
this is the ground.
And tell me whether I am wrong.
You are right.
What we have learned here is that the army falsified a report as part of the government cover-up. You lied in the report about there being no casualties. You lied about there being no torture. You lied about not even using live bullets.
We use live bullets.
See? So this report is a complete cock and bull story.
For sure.
Thank you very much.
Okay, do I have to make a comment?
Yes, you may comment if you want, but we have to move on.
And I want to say here, when the CJ said we are going to conduct an independent investigation of what happens anywhere, we were convinced. That's between me and her. During my hearing, it was only 30 minutes. They ran into trouble and they told me that you'll come back later. They never called me back. If we had gone to that level, I would have made it clear that there was something wrong. I don't know what Bayandunga Fall was trying to emphasize, but he couldn't have his way with the CJ. And I was told to go back just 30 minutes into the inquiry.
So,
I was never called. Then all of a sudden, allow me a time. Even keeping my men down in Brikamaba, when they came, they did their inquiry, they did not inform me that they are ready. They were ready. Until I have to go back, and they told me, oh, sorry, we've been to Brika, we've got our information already. Get the men out.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jatta.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, it's 11:30. We should take our first break and return in 30 minutes. And Mr. Jatta, maybe you would have this short period to gather your thoughts and prepare for the last session.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Council. Thank you, Mr. Jatta. We'll take a 30-minute break, come back at 12 noon sharp. Meeting is adjourned.
ñëw ak yéen rek Skincare Plus nara jàkkaarloo ak yéen waxtaan ak yéen tuuti rek si suñu tube suñu baax emuñ rek ci ay diw waaye comme ni ngeen ko xamee rek dañoo yëngu ci ay tube te yënguwuñ nag si just any tube suñ tube bu nekk 5 star jesna la 5 star jesna mooy jesna bi gën a pire moom la ñoo tube palmaan bi gën a fort moom la ñoo liggéeyee ñun rek si tube dara du doy day des not only dañoo tube but bu la neexee ñu tuubal la ba pare nag ñawal la. We're not all about skin. We are skin, care, and the plus does come in so many different ways.
diwli lanni maaro lanni
fop lanni
awa joni mi anda honno guerɗeten e ngal ɗo sabu e ngal ɗo Ibrahima jonnal taw joni mi anda se yahay kapitiki ñawloɗen ha humpodiren e makko est ce que on noon e warude
waɗen noon awa
ane ko de Ibrahima ma ko to woni
mo Amérique
ko Amérique a woni kede humpitaki fiɓe musidɓe men baluwo
baluwo
ɓe andanɗa kala ko wawɗa wonde e aduna o si a rewi e juuɗe maɓɓe a jonnay ɗo dépassement o Gambia hara no weeɓi a yahata kadi taw ko mbuɗi ɗi no ƴawi walla no jippi ɓe haalantama ko kala ko falɗa ko sengo ñamete ini nebba maaro basal pomme de terre kala ko rewi ɗon a hendoto hara no weeɓi kadi wona ɗum ɗon tu ɓe jonnira e mobile phone siko ɗum kadi laptop kala ko wayrode ɗi hay kas bawa ɓe wawma jonnude kadi sa fala humpitade ko weeɓi ƴettu Google account ma joni data ton waɗa download app maɓɓe on ayiyay kala ko humpima e maɓɓe ton ɓe weeɓi yama
ka wonɗa wo e aduna on
kala ko wawɗa
a jonnanayi wonɗo ka leydi men Gambia ɗo dépense
hara no weeɓi hama si ɗum non fof no neeɓi immoɗen joni mi ɗowtama ka place maɓɓe jano
waɗen joni
iya heɓa ko falata
waɗen kisam